academics in teaching and learning, thus contributing to the university excellence. So today we have we have Professor yang berbahagia, Professor Dr. Ismi Arif Ismail from Faculty of Educational Studies, as well as Director Institute for Social Science Studies, IPSAS University, Putra, Malaysia. So welcome Professor Ismi. So Professor Ismi.
Thank you very much, Dr. Associate Professor Dr. Wan. Thank you for inviting me. From my dear Dr. Dahlia as well. Thank you for having me.
Alhamdulillah, Prof. Ismi. So we have our sessions today, 2 hour sessions. Okay, and we also have here Associate Professor Dr. Dahlia Zawawi, the CADe's Deputy Directors for the Academic Staff Developments. Okay, so thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Dahlia, in helping to ensure that our sessions today are successful. So, okay, Alhamdulillah. So for our all our participants today, we have our session within 2 hours. So you are free to ask the questions. So if you want to ask the questions, you can unmute your mics, or you just put your question in the chat in the chat rooms. Okay, so we will help you to interrupt or to ensure that Professor Ismi is answer all your questions. Okay, so I think we already have Professor Ismi here. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our speaker today. Okay, yang berbahagia Professor Dr. Ismi Arif Ismail to discuss the topics Collegial's leadership for teaching and learning. Collegial's leadership for teaching and learning. So the times is yours, Professor Ismi. So silakan Professor Ismi.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Wan Mazuki Wan Jaafar, the Director of CADe UPM. My boss, Associate Professor Dr. Dahlia Zawawi. Thank you for inviting me to share a bit on collegiality in academia, and of course under the title of Collegial Leadership for Teaching and Learning. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for spending your time with me for about 1 to 2 hours. Basically, this is something unique for me, I think, because all this while I've been following kids training, and we have been very much into innovative teaching and learning, so on and so forth. But for today, I will try to share from the perspective of instructional leadership for teaching and learning. Basically, how we can sort of, as the instructional leaders at our faculties and at our departments, work together, collaborate to come up with a better teaching and learning ecosystem, teaching and learning activities. What more, I'm sure at this point of time, most of us are very busy, reviewing our curriculum, trying to innovate our respective curriculum, as much as possible. So I believe, the sharing of today, hopefully, will be relevant to me and to all of you, because we are now talking about how we go beyond department, how do we go beyond the faculty, and to work collegially for the benefit of our students. So I would like to share my slide, and then and I welcome participants to you can always raise up your hand or just unmute and raise any question. because I agree with Associate Professor Dr. Wan Mazuki. Let's make this very interactive. This is a training. This is not a keynote speech. And I have also discussed with Dr. Dahlia. We want the session to be very, two-way like, and then very helpful to those of you who have decided to be with us for today. Okay, right. I will now share. Okay. All right, inshallah. So I hope everyone can see, inshallah. Alhamdulillah.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Okay, all right, okay. All right. So this is the poster. Thank you very much, Kate. Of course, just a brief background about myself. But thanks to Kate, Kate has already provided, a brief bio, in the link. Of course, I've been in UPM for 20 years. So if you look at some of my photos in the university website, it's a bit different. That was maybe 10 or 7 years ago. This is maybe the PhD permanent hair damage that I have to accept. But alhamdulillah, of course, Dr. Dahlia said masih boleh cari makan, so alhamdulillah lah. So so this is myself, and I'm attached at the Institute for Social Science Studies, IPSAS, as the director. And before this, I was at the Faculty of Educational Studies as the Deputy Dean for Research and Graduate Studies. And I'm still, insyaAllah, a member of the faculty and the Department of Professional Development. So our program basically is human resource development, and I'm teaching a course on leadership development and training, design and management. So I'll be using that experience to share with all of you. Also, my experience working at ACAP last time, coordinating training for teaching and learning. For master trainers and whatnot. So hopefully the training that we are going to have today is to help all of you and myself, to improve as leaders, for teaching and learning. And how do we do it collegially so that we can come up with a very flexible, cross-disciplinary, fluid curriculum that will provide a more diverse kind of teaching and learning activities in UPM and of course for our students. Okay. All right. So this is the synopsis. A collegial leader shares power and authority equally among a group of colleagues. And in tandem with that, a collegial style of leadership is characterized by a practice that creates an atmosphere where leader and member work together as an instructional team to solve problems and recommend strategies for effective teaching and learning. And strong and healthy collegial relationship among educators is regarded as an essential component of university effectiveness and educators' growth and development, especially in the context of teaching and learning. And from a holistic view, the idea behind this collegial model of leadership relies on promoting collaboration and participation, and is often characterized by shared leadership, shared values, shared decision making, that is more lateral or horizontal. But of course, this is easier said than done. The effectiveness of this kind of leadership practice is still ongoing. And that is what I hope we can do today. Basically, we want to discuss how this can work, So these are the learning objectives. So at the end of the session, participants and myself will be able to first to identify key characteristics necessary for developing collegial leadership in teaching and learning. Second one, we hope to be able to engage in activities that demonstrate collegiality leadership in teaching and learning. And finally, to understand the benefits of collegial leadership for teaching and learning. Now, why do we need collegial leadership for teaching and learning in the first place? We cannot deny the fact that the future learning ecosystem will and is a holistic lifelong personalized learning paradigm and represents a contrast, to the previous industrial age model of time focus where we have this one size fits all kind of learning. Okay, so we want to do away with that. And I would like to congratulate the ministry. I would like to congratulate the university, and of course, especially CADe, for in line, with these current changes. So why do we need collegial leadership for teaching and learning? So to realize the future learning ecosystem, these are the 6 critical areas that we must make sure align. Okay. So first, of course, with this era of technology enhanced education, we look into the technological infrastructure, how far it is flexible, interoperable for pervasive learning, and then in terms of design, how we redesign our learning. So basically, the intentional methods applied to optimize the learning, with our students. The third one, commitment. So how far, if we talk about flexible curriculum, how far we really want to commit to that? This is about contributions to a shared vision across communities. And communities, we don't talk about just the community at our department. We talk about the committee at our faculty, the university, beyond the university, how we share the vision of this flexible curriculum and instruction with our partner in the industry, community, and so forth. So the fourth one is governance. Now, with regards to all this diversity, we want to be as creative as possible. We want to be as diverse as possible. The aspect of governance must also be in place. So how do we negotiate in terms of standards, conventions, ethics, bachelor in education and engineering, for example? Okay, so in terms of governance, how do we make sure that the student will still benefit, with having this kind of transdisciplinary, kind of curriculum and instruction in their portfolio and CV later on. So the next one is the policy. Of course, with governance, we have to come up with the policy. Congratulations to Kate. We already have the academic transformation framework. So the policy is very important, and it has to be shared, with everyone. In the context of UPM, of course, with Kate, we support Kate in terms of how to make sure the regulations and recommendations for the behavior of the educators and learners, are in place, in line with our aspiration for this flexible curriculum. And of course, finally, the human, infrastructure. Basically, you talk about the diversely skilled individuals and organizational structures around the ecosystem. How, lecturers from education work with lecturers from, economics or from designs, together coming up with a curriculum that really provide a very innovative and transdisciplinary kind of content to our student. Okay. So this is the 6 critical areas. And this is what I mentioned to you just now. I'm sure everyone is well versed with this. Kate, of course, under the inspiration of our Deputy Vice Chancellor for Academic and International, have come out with this UPM Academic Transformation program, in which we are trying to develop future-proof Putra graduates through a flexible curriculum. This is what I've been talking all this while. Flexible curriculum that is organic, fluid in nature, supported by innovative teaching and learning delivery to generate impactful learning experiences and alternative assessment to cater diverse learning abilities. So I'm sure all of you are very familiar with Einstein's advice, right? Uh, it is an act of stupidity if we want to see different result if we do uh, similar things, on and on and on. So if we really want to come up with something new, like what we have here, if we talk about curriculum that is organic and fluid, innovative, impactful learning, alternative assessment, we have to have a game change. And the game change start from the instructional leaders. And how, what kind of instructional leaders? Instructional leaders who are very collegial, who are willing to collaborate, who are willing to, negotiate, compromise for the sake of our learners. So again, the objective of academic transformation program is to produce the graduates through a flexible curriculum, innovative delivery, and alternative assessment. So these are all big words, huh? Okay, all right. Okay, so this is thank you to the task force who have came out with this UPM academic transformation framework. Okay, they have managed to publish this playbook, and inshallah I'm sure most of you have already khatam this playbook. Okay, so these are the people behind. Okay, for flexible curriculum, I'm taking this from Dr. Zariat's presentation, training with the participants before. Okay, so this is what Putra Flex is all about. It is very much about flexible curriculum. It is about I like when the future proof. No, Putra Flag is structured with an underpinning philosophy of producing future proof Putra graduates through a curriculum that is flexible in nature, promotes the convergence of disciplines, how far we have managed to converge, and offers diverse study path. So I'm the point of departure for our training today is from Putra Flex. So okay, so the big words here, fluid and organic. Okay, how fluid and organic is our curriculum at the faculty, at the department? How fluid in terms of we collaborate with our colleagues, not only at department but also at the faculty, at other university, and across with our friends in the industry and the community. So flexible curriculum is a curriculum that is vibrant and is continuously growing in keeping with students' personal interests and needs. How far we engage students in terms of our curriculum review, how diverse, and then the flexible curriculum is also not fixed or rigid. Okay, and they have the opportunity to develop their own potential. Okay, so all in all, the nature of flexible curriculum should be one that encourages a convergence of disciplines. This is what inspire me to share on collegiality, because we are talking about a convergence of disciplines, and we talk about the design by the students of their own studies. They can always go across department, across faculty, to talk to a diverse kind of educators, and we introduce them to industry players, community leaders, so that they can be they can be exposed and they can work with this different community of practice members. Okay, so now what is collegial leadership? So collegial leadership is a body of persons having a common purpose. So first we have to make sure that we have a common purpose and shared power and decision making among some or all members of organization. Of course, within this collegial relationship, there are certain governance and structure that we go through, because we want to make sure that at the end of the day there'll be someone who having this final say, but it should be shared. That will highlight and color the nature of collegiality. All right, and then organizations determine policies and make decisions through a process of discussion leading to consensus. And presumably something is gained when professionals work together. How far have we worked together in terms of coming out with a very fluid, organic, flexible curriculum that will be very transdisciplinary? We talk about converge of disciplines just now, or we are still practicing the same kind of way of doing things, discussion just among our program member, just discuss with our department member. The program is solely owned by us, and we don't really make ourselves open to others to come in, to chip in, to make sure that our curriculum is more diverse and more transdisciplinary. Okay, continue of what is collegial leadership. Basically, collegial leadership is strongly normative in orientation, and it is particularly appropriate for universities, because in universities we have a significant number of professionals, and professionals have the right to share in wider decision making, and we like to have this what we call the shared decisions, because shared decisions are likely to be better informed and more effective. All right, and then there's a common set of values held by members of organization to guide the managerial, the teaching and learning activities and whatnot. But at the end of the day, the democratic element of this formal representation is the essence of collegial management. So these
Professor Ismi, okay, this is a characteristic, Professor
yeah,
Ismi.
okay.
There is a
Itulah,
few.
kita stop dulu. Okay, please. Boleh.
There is a few questions.
Right, please.
We have discussed about the collegiality and so on. Maybe maybe after this you can focus a little bit. What is the key characteristics that are necessary for the developing collegial leadership in higher education?
Yes.
The most important characteristic that we need for our academia to ensure this collegial leadership successful. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wan. And I will proceed to the characteristics, but maybe I would like also to open to members. If anyone would like to comment on how far have you gone through in terms of championing this flexible curriculum, this organic and fluid curriculum in terms of your curriculum review activities at this moment. Have you gone through beyond your department? What are the issues and challenges faced? Anybody would like to, raise any concern?
Yeah, yes, it's right. Maybe Professor, Associate Professor Dr. Shuaib, you want to share some things later? Okay, it's okay. No worries, Professor Ismi. You can proceed first.
Proceed first. Okay, all right. Okay,
if there is a question, we can interrupt you.
Okay,
later.
all right. Okay,
thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wan. Okay, I proceed. So these are the key characteristics necessary for developing collegial leadership in teaching and learning. So I'm talking here about what we need to do, at the department, at the faculty, and even at the university. Of course, we have the Jawatan Kuasa Curriculum University, Jawatan Kuasa Curriculum Faculty. So how do we really champion this collegiality? In terms of how we do things. To make sure that we can really make the curriculum and instruction agile, fluid, and flexible and organic. So the first characteristic, team leadership. We need the collegial leaders, to be able to coordinate activities, to distribute tasks appropriately, evaluate effectiveness, and inspire performance. So we need to have a leader that is very open and broad-minded to diversity, because diversity is the order of the day. We can no longer be very in silo in terms of looking at our academic program. People have been talking about, in meeting with the RR 4.0, Society 5.0, we need to make sure that our students are very broad and yet focused, in terms of their discipline and how their discipline connect to the other disciplines, so that at the end of the day they become leaders, leaders who can really function in the society. So first, the leaders. Of course, the faculty leaders, the instructional leaders, who is in charge of the academic affairs, maybe at the department, the person, who is in charge of, the curriculum review, how this this team leader, can get all the colleagues, together to see and share the vision of coming out with a more flexible curriculum and instruction. So second one, mutual performance monitoring. So this is about the ability to develop shared understanding regarding intentions, roles, and responsibilities. Of course, CADe has come up with that framework. You have come up with a very beautiful and meaningful playbook. How far the leaders at the faculty and at the department take this, meaningful message about going for a more fluid and organic curriculum to be implemented at your respective department and faculty. So how do you monitor that? How much have you embraced, this flexibility and agility in terms of how we view curriculum and instruction? Okay, next one is the backup behavior, ability to anticipate the needs of other team members and shift responsibilities at needed times. Now, of course, when we negotiate, when we discuss with colleagues from other department, other faculty, other university, with the industry and the community members, we also have to understand, the needs of, their needs and their wants, and how do you negotiate so that you can always back up. Okay, for this one, I understand this is your concern, but this is our agenda. So how do we negotiate and make sure that we can have a win-win, situation, after that, and come up with a consensus. The next one is adaptability. Adaptability refers to the capability of team members to adjust strategies to complete tasks based on environmental feedbacks. Of course, we have our market survey, how far we really read and digest the market survey and really provide a game change in terms of the way we write our curriculum and the way we redesign our teaching and learning activities later on. And of course, finally, the team orientation basically refers to the tendency to prioritize team goals over individual goals. Of course, this is very challenging, easier said than done, because we want to encourage alternative perspectives and show respect to one another. I would say when we talk about collegial leadership, when we talk about collegiality in teaching and learning, it is very much about how do we, again, negotiate, we prioritize the goals of the team. If you talk about coming up with a curriculum that is transdisciplinary, that will be our priority, But at the same time, of course, I'm sure each faculty and each department will have your individual interests and wants. And of course, it is very hard sometimes for us to sacrifice things. But how do you make sure that at the end of the day, it will still be a win-win condition, but at the same time, we have a very diverse and very impactful kind of curriculum instruction in place for our students. Okay, just now it is about key characteristics necessary. This one, the key characteristic unnecessary for developing collegial leadership in teaching and learning. And you have to make sure that these are the virus, these are the virus that will keep on pulling us, from demonstrating our collegiality in terms of working together. The first one is absence of trust. Unwilling to be, vulnerable within the group. We feel like sometimes that we feel, come on, this another faculty or another department is going to eat my program, so I'm not going to, give everything to them, So these are the virus that we have to be very aware of, okay, and try to turn it into something positive. So one is absence of trust, fear of conflict, okay, so we seek for artificial harmony, over constructive, passionate debate. This is when sometimes for the fear of conflict, we decided to just follow or just left group. Okay, close shop. We do not want to have any discussion with the other side because we feel that we are not winning anything. Okay, that is fear of conflict. And then lack of commitment, of course, that will not go far. We need the shared commitment of all. And then accountability avoidance, ducking the responsibility to call peers on counterproductive behavior. At this point of time, there'll be conflicts, So as the leader, as the collegial leader, how do you make sure that you can really get everyone on board? And if you have any counterproductive behavior, you can really adjust, explain, and get people to understand and to stay on board. And of course, finally, in attention to results, this is about focusing on personal success before team success. Again, despite the need for this collegial collaboration, at the end of the day, it always come back to you want to put your department or your program above the rest. But that is not our aim. When we talk about collegiality, it is about how we can gain as a group. Okay. All right, so these are activities that demonstrate collegiality leadership in teaching and learning. Basically like summing up what we have shared in the previous slides. We have to be ready to share, to support one another, to collaborate, to really participate in the, coming up with a very transdisciplinary, a very collaborative kind of curriculum and instruction, and sustain the commitment, to sustain the effort, to really support, in terms of this idea of a flexible curriculum, and help one another, ally with people beyond our department, faculty, and university, and of course assist from time to time to make sure that the goal of having this flexible curriculum will be a reality, and we really achieve, the mission, vision, and objective. So just now we talk about characteristics, and now we talk about activities. The activities that demonstrate collegiality leadership in teaching and learning. So first and foremost, we have to look at our ecosystem and environment. So look at the history of collaboration or cooperation within the faculty, department to department, faculty to faculty, faculty to industry, and faculty to community. How far have we been really collegial, in terms of sharing of information, improving our curriculum, helping, their practices in the industry and in the community. We talk about service learning lah, sulam like all this while kan. So how can we really bring this, for the benefit of our teaching and learning ecosystem? Second one, how do we connect with a group, with that is seen as leader in these communities, the leader of the other department, the leader of the other faculty, the leader of the industry, of the community, where we can bring together in coming out with a very impactful and diverse kind of curriculum. And of course, we can never, run away from this political and social climate. We are social beings. We have so many conversation, negotiation coming in. So how do we make sure that the political and social climate is favorable, for us to be able to coming out with this more innovative kind of curriculum? So that is the environment. Membership characteristics. Our colleagues at the department, our colleagues at the faculty, our community of practice outside the university, colleagues from UKM, and then our partners in the industry and in the community. How do we maintain the mutual respect, the mutual understanding, and the mutual trust that we are working together for the benefit of our students, okay, and learners? And the membership, have an appropriate cross-section of members so that the community is represented equally. We have a diverse, and all these members, are given the equal space, to really provide suggestions, opinions for the betterment of this new kind of curriculum. And members need to see the collaboration as a benefit, okay, to their self-interest. How do we see at the end of the day, things will benefit us and will also benefit the whole group, and all must be willing to compromise. Okay, this is in terms of the membership characteristics, to make sure that this flexible, fluid, and agile and organic curriculum will be a success. Okay, so we go to the process and structure of the group. Okay, as the collegial leaders, how do we look in terms of how members share a stake in both the process and the outcome, of the effort? Okay, and then a multi-layer check in the decision-making process. And we have to always remember that one group does not possess too much power. Everyone has a say, and then of course, ultimately, finally, the collegial leader, being very fair and just, will sort of like coordinate and consolidate things to make sure that it is a win-win for everyone. Okay, and then the structure of the group and the process should be also flexible enough. Okay, flexibility to change with the community's needs, and there's a clear understanding of rules and policy guidelines, and the group is always able to adopt and change when needed. Okay, looking at the changes now, I remember Dr. Zairat shares last time about VUCA and all this. I'm sure all of us are very much into this VUCA proof, VUCA GOGI and all that. That we have to make sure that we can always adopt and change when necessary. Okay. Finally, in terms of communication, establish and closely maintain formal and informal communications for the benefit of everyone, and create an environment where participants are encouraged to contribute. That is the beauty of collegiality. Okay, continue. This is the internal collaboration. Look at our university context. How by having this collegial leadership for teaching and learning, we are able, to work cross discipline, so cross functional teams, interdisciplinary teaching and research, student and academic affairs collaboration. If you talk about providing nurturing holistic graduates, it's not just the faculty, it's the collaboration between the faculty, college, the co-curriculum center, so on and so forth. An example that we can suggest is a formation of a cross-disciplinary learning communities that bring faculty and students together to study an issue, capitalizing on intellectual capacities throughout the institution for teaching. So how far our students, various departments, various faculties really work together, and not about just students, also lecturers, in terms of how we see our courses, what kind of courses that we can share. And in terms of one course, how many lecturers can really contribute? We can share. We might have one person responsible for the course, but actually there's more than one lecturer teaching that subject, okay, for the benefit of the students. So that is internal collaboration. External collaboration is about coming up with a steering committees. It's a faculty partnerships, community partnerships, and business and industry collaborative to make sure that our curriculum is very diverse, very hands-on. Talking about industry driven, community driven, but at the same time still uphold, the intellectual, the academic accolades of our field. Okay, an example that we have is campuses partner with local business to increase their teaching pool. Okay, getting others practitioners to come in, to help in terms of our teaching. I'm sure some faculties have already gone extremely in terms of that. That's very good. So maybe we can learn from their experience. Internship potential for our students, and the faculty provide needed labs and materials for conducting cross-fertilization teaching and learning activities. Okay, so this is very collegial in nature, the university in the society in the university, things like that. Okay. All right, continue. And the benefits of collegial leadership for teaching and learning is also about a condition that encompasses many aspects of a cooperative relationship. And we are used to refer to shared values and mutual goals and understanding in a cooperation relationship. And in the sense of competition, it is very healthy competition, because we have our common destination. Okay, we work together, supporting and encouraging each other. There's no unhealthy competition, and there's no need to pass the blame or hide failures in terms of if we see there are things to be improved in the curriculum, rather than passing the blame. This is because the other faculty are not helping. This is because the other department are not helping. So we do not want that to happen. As collegial leaders should be able to look at the positivity and improve accordingly for mutual benefit. So this is again to sum up the benefits of collegial leadership for teaching and learning. I always believe, and my team, we have seen some success stories, in other universities, not only in Malaysia but also my experience, going to one university in Australia, University Technology Sydney, they really go for transdisciplinary kind of curriculum, and you can see how they are able to drive innovation, foster creativity, guide organizational strategies, coming out with new ideas, not only from the lecturers but also the students, and then they provide new kind of services, to the community and the industry outside, come up with new products, encourage out of the box thinking, influence the strength of the curriculum, the strength of the teaching and learning activities, and of course increase productivity. Students are happy, students learn a lot, students are exposed to a diverse kind of experience, and then they tend to produce good results, exciting output. Lecturers not only teach but also make use of this collaboration to publish, do good research, engage with partners outside, industry or community. So this is a very much 4-in-1 kind of thing, just because of this collegiality. Okay, so all right, increase productivity and influence intellectual personality in the each member who are in the collegial relationship. Okay, so okay, before I go to the question, Dr. Wan nak bagi questions dulu ke, or we want to discuss first? But I only have some questions to address, so that we can get participants to think, discuss, and let us help one another in this session.
This is it's up to you, Professor Ismi. I think it's okay if you want to raise the question to let the participant discuss, and then after that we can continue.
Okay.
For the rest of our sessions.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So these are our learning questions. If you can bring these questions to your department, to your faculty, and to the university level, of course it depends, at which position you are now. Okay, some would like to talk at the department level, some would like to talk at the faculty level, some would like to talk about the university, or maybe you can also cross, maybe you belong to these 3 groups, and you see there is a need for this collegiality, in teaching and learning, curriculum and instruction. So the first one, in order to make sure that we can have this at our university, what are the key characteristics necessary for developing collegial leadership in higher education teaching and learning? Okay, that is the first question. The second question, what are the activities that we can come up with in UPM, okay, or even maybe colleagues from other universities that demonstrate collegiality leadership in teaching and learning, okay, at our institutions? The third question, what are the benefits of collegial leadership for teaching and learning? I've given you, a very generic kind of answer previously, but let us contextualize it, in our university, in your faculty, and in your department. Okay. Okay, another 2 questions. So in line with UPM's academic transformation and aspirations for a future-proof curriculum framework that is more fluid, flexible, and cross-disciplinary, how do you think collegial leadership can really accelerate this effort? How far are we in terms of collegial leadership? Or we are still working in silo? We are still very much territorial, or we have already moved towards this? Okay, and the final question, what is the potential and way forward that collegial leadership can contribute to the development of a more holistic higher education teaching and learning ecosystem? So these are the 5 questions, that we would like to share with you. We would like to answer the questions together. Okay, Dr. Wan, that is the first round, of our session.
Yes.
I would like to, open to members. Let's make this thing a reality. I really like the whatever sessions that CADe, organize. We really benefit the faculty, the university, and the department, because this is not just another intellectual discourse, one-off kind of thing. I really want that the session to benefit everyone. Thank you, Dr. Wan.
Okay, it's good. Maybe we open to the participants to share, and of course I think there is one more question. That is normally we will think about the collegiality. We also can share together here. What is the challenge in developing collegiality in our colleagues? Okay, or in our department, or in our faculty, or in our universities, maybe.
Yes.
Okay, so we open.
Dr. Wan, I see Dr. Novia raising
Yes.
up her hand.
Dr. Novia, you have anything to share? Or Dr. Aizuddin?
Dr. Fu.
Hey, you raise up your hand. Boleh, tak apa. Sila. You want to share something?
Dr. Novia.
Dr. Novia, we open. I think we have our colleagues also here who can share. Maybe we have our deans also here, Professor Rosli. Prof. Rosli, you want to share some things?
Prof. Rosli. Alhamdulillah, collegiality at the faculty is very healthy. Alhamdulillah.
I think Prof. Shoaib should share something.
Okay, all right. Okay, please.
Shoaib. Sila, Associate Professor Dr. Shoaib. Okay. There is a very high experienced people juga ni kan. Okay. It's more on the practical parts. Okay, sila Dr. Shoaib. Professor Madya, Dr. Shoaib is also experts in higher education leaderships. Betul lah Prof. Shoaib? Okay, Prof. Shoaib, Prof. Rosli, after later we can discuss together here. Okay, sila Prof. Shoaib dulu.
Dr. Shoaib dulu. Lepas ni Kanda Rosli, insyaAllah.
Maybe I would like to hear from our dean, Professor Rosli juga.
Oh, okay, Dean dulu.
Then I will echo.
Dean dulu, after that Deputy Dean for Academics.
Okay.
Okay, Prof. Rosli, please. Prof. Rosli.
Prof. Rosli, sila dulu. Kita dengar daripada the experienced people, and then kita nak juga dengar daripada the new academia, ahli akademik kita yang baru. Okay. Sila Prof. Rosli. Tadi nampak dah video tadi. Sekejap, dia terkeluar ke tadi? Sometimes line tak step. Prof. Rosli.
Dia terkeluar.
Terkeluar.
So maybe Dr. Shoaib lah.
Dr. Shoaib dulu. Prof. Rosli macam terkeluar.
Can just maybe refresh a little bit about the question, because I mean I may miss the important point.
Oh, okay. Alright, I share again.
But line is not very good.
Okay.
It's not stable. Saya nampak tak stable line Prof. Ada Dr. Shoaib.
So these are the questions. The first one, basically, of course, to to recap, what we have shared, earlier on. So in terms of the UPM context, the faculty context, or your department context, what are the key characteristics that you believe necessary to develop collegial leadership? Okay. Second one, what are the activities that demonstrate collegiality leadership in teaching and learning at the institutions? And in UPM, how can we further support, jawatankuasa kurikulum, jawatankuasa kecil kurikulum, university, jawatankuasa kurikulum faculty, and whatnot, And then the third one, what are the benefits of collegial leadership for teaching and learning? If you want to really embrace, the Putra flags, how we see that we need to have a curriculum that is more flexible, fluid, and organic. How do we see collegial leadership's role in terms of making sure that we can really make this flexible curriculum a reality? Okay, and then question number 4, basically summing up, the previous 3 questions. So in line with the UPM academic transformation and aspiration for a future-proof curriculum framework that is more fluid, flexible, and cross-disciplinary. Dr. Suhaib, cross-faculty, okay, cross-department. How collegial leadership can accelerate this effort? And what is the potential and way forward that collegial leadership can contribute to the development of a more holistic teaching and learning ecosystem? That is very much in line, because I'm sure now everyone is busy, reviewing your curriculum, Are we still working with the same people, or we have imported some of our colleagues from other department, other faculty, industry, communicating together and to strengthen our new impactful and flexible curriculum? Sila Dr. Ismail.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning, and thank you very much inviting me. I thought of listening. Being a good listener will be interesting. All right.
A good listener is a good leader.
I would like to share maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. With my little knowledge, I will share something which I've got from I think Pak Hamka. I think all of us know about Pak Hamka. Okay. So if you talk about the characteristics of the important characteristics, I would say one, according to Pak Hamka, is we call this as adab. Yeah, adab. Adab. I believe that if you want to translate adab into English, it's like manners. But I think the term adab is more appropriate lah. Yeah. So when we say about adab, we are all intelligent people. I would say that we are living in the community of scholars. When you talk about collegial leadership, it can only normally happen in the environment where you have the community of scholars. That's why if you look into the literature, they discuss about collegial leadership mostly in the university, because we are, basically equal. So we are all intelligent. So the way we say words, the way we discuss, the way we portray ourselves, the way we think, the way we behave and so on, that will reflect on us. So adab is very, very important. We might forget this sometimes. So I'm looking into myself, not into other people, how we deal with our students, for example, how we deal with our colleagues, our senior colleagues, our young colleagues, our new colleagues, our OTA, and so on. Professor Rosli is my old buddy since 1987 when I joined UPM. So we have been together almost 33 years, 34 years, going to be 34 years this year. So this is important, how we deal with people, the adab one. So we are teaching our students, we want them to have good manners and so on. So this is the first thing. Number two is about humbleness. Humble. Being humble, there's nothing wrong being humble. The more knowledgeable we are, we should be more humble. The Malay proverb kan, ikutlah resmi padi, makin berisi semakin tunduk. That's very important thing, because no harm being humble. I think people will acknowledge that, and people will see on us. See how, for example, if you look into Hamka writing, most of his writing, talking about these characteristics. Adab. We also need respect. Respectful of others. This is very important. Sometimes we tend to forget. We are human beings. There is nothing wrong being forget, but we have to learn how to control it. So I think the three things, one is adab, number two is about humble, number three is about respect. So when you talk about all these things, when, for example, Prof. Ismi mentioned about, is it possible now, to have this across discipline, cross faculties and so on? Of course, yes. The answer is yes. Because, we are living in a borderless world. A click of your hand on your mouse can spread things all over the world. We have been, we are caught by many incidents. For example, just a slip of tongue can get us into trouble. So nowadays we cannot we can afford to make a slip of tongue also. I mean, saying something can be harmful and a disaster, not only to us, but maybe our institution. So I think in this way, I think we can cut across. I mean, we share our knowledge, we share our experience, and we respect each other. I think that one, the way forward, I think is good for UPM. Now we start to realize, for example, I mean, we have heard, I mean, from for example, from engineering, from education, from computer science, we do research together, for example. So I mean, this is possible to make our students actually the end thing, what we want to achieve is to be able to create something that is now people say VUCA proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, VUCA proof. So this is what we need to do, because we have to work together. We can't afford to work in silo.
Yeah.
We can't be too complacent with our own field of expertise. I'm the
Territorial.
There's no such thing. There's no territorial. So this is what I see. I mean, this is from my I think my short experience in UPM for over 30 years, and I've seen we all grow together in UPM. So and then we have a lot of potential in UPM, but we must bear in mind and understand and also menghayati, quote unquote, the spirits of collegiality. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suhaim. What I pick up from Dr. Suhaim is that we have already practiced collegiality in terms of doing our research project. We work across faculties, and also in terms of supervision. We have friends from different department, different faculties supervise our students depending on the topic. But as far as teaching and learning, in terms of courses, I think there are room for improvement, right? I mean, to get a more diverse kind of colleague to also be involved in our teaching and learning, for the benefit of our students, rather than students just see one same lecturer for one course throughout the semester. How far have we really bring in our colleagues into the classes, get the students to be able to communicate and converse, share ideas with other lecturers than just ourselves, even though that course is put under us. That is another thing that maybe we can discuss on. So thank you, Dr. Suhaim. Now we go back to our decan, Prof. Rosli. We miss you just now, so now you're in, Alhamdulillah. So what do you think of collegiality in terms of our curriculum review? How far we have really managed to work across department, across faculty, with the industry and also the community? Sila, Prof.
Sila, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, I'm very happy to participate in this kind of seminar. So to me, I found that in terms of collegiality, based on the teaching and learning, so far we have been done actually in UPN. For example, for the purpose of to talk about the subject of university, for example, the university subject.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Prof. Yes.
Okay. For example, pertanian dan manusia dan pertanian. Actually, we are actually as a faculty level, we have been participate actually to support this kind of environment, and I'm sure that not just only on the model university that we have been supported, like I mentioned earlier, pertanian and human, and also we are talking about keusahawanan, for example. We also take care about that. I'm sure that after this, for the pertanian dan manusia, for example, we try to make sure keusahawanan, for example, we try to make sure that we are also can provide the university, for example, we are in computer science and IT faculty. We try to make sure that how do we can promote keusahawanan, entrepreneurship among our students. So we can also, I don't know, maybe later on, we can collaborate in terms of curriculum review. For example, we can put some of the subjects so-called as the latest technology that we have right now, for example, data science, and or data analytics or big data. So those are the things that we can help actually. We can help each other, we can promote each other, and of course we can I'm sure that we can make sure that our student actually can be so talented in terms of technology wise. So this is what we have been done actually. I'm sure that we are not just looking on that one, but also in terms of research, for example. Of course, we have a multidisciplinary research already. Our faculty members from computer science, for example, we have been crossed over. We have been gone to medicine. We have gone to right now we are looking for another kind of a new research in smart farming, for example, and many others actually. So this is just example. I'm coming back to the VOCA model. VOCA model, as what Dr. Shoaib mentioned just now. Of course, we have to work something like this because this is very important, especially want to what's the element that you highlight before, Prof. Ismi, in terms of backup behavior, for example. We have to make sure that we have the talents, how to make sure that people can, can take over, so-called as ability to anticipate the needs of other team, for example. So in our faculty, actually, we have been implementing this to make sure that we try to make sure that not only one person knows about something, but someone has to be backup for each other. This is what we have been done so far. I think that's all for me for the time being. Inshallah, we can continue for later on. Inshallah.
Thank you, Prof. Rosli. Because for your information, Prof. Ismi, there is a joint venture, a few courses between the faculty of computer science and the faculty pertanian, especially in the agriculture technology, Prof. Rosli.
The new program, the new program that is coming up.
The new programs. This is Pertanian Pintar. We hope also later, Prof. Rosli and our teams here, you can also offer all the minor course that other faculty can take from your faculty. So that is how we can prepare. So we open our minor to the public in UPMs. Maybe some students they like to learn a few parts about maybe the computer networkings and so on. Maybe later. Okay, yang saya nampak lah. Okay, thank you, Prof. Ismi. So proceed.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Rusli, Dr. Shoaib, and Dr. Wan. So basically, the simple is this: we have to make sure that we can reduce, or if possible, delete all the little Napoleons at the faculty. Especially the one in charge of the curriculum and instruction. To make sure that these people are not territorial. They really welcome, collaboration across faculties and across department. Because my concern is that in the future, in fact now, the future is now, we have been now talking about micro learning, even within one course, within one subject, for each of the topic, it is interesting if we can also bring in, colleagues, from other fields or disciplines to chip in and to meet our student. That is the thing that I try to practice, in my course. Of course, initially we start by just getting them as invited lecturer, for certain topic, from different faculties and whatnot. But how do we make this thing more formalized kind of thing, that it is inbuilt in the curriculum, whereby we are allowed to bring in more than one instructor to join in one particular course, so that our students can be exposed to a more diverse kind of school of thoughts, in even one course. So that's the way for micro learning, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right, Professor Ismi. Because we already brings the paper for the what we call the Putra E visiting fellows. Putra EVF is already approved. So now there is a time to move on, and then that's why maybe some of you here, you can start find people who can collaborate to appoint the E visiting fellows. And then, of course, we are in a process to do the roadshow to ensure that every faculty take these opportunities. Okay. As well as we have also what Professor Ismi said is about the micro learnings. We are in the process of finalize the micro credentials process. So hopefully after we finalize everything, so the faculty can start doing the micro micro course that we that's the publics as well. Our UPM students can enroll the course, and also that we already have also what we call the MOOCs, the Putra MOOCs. If some maybe what our lecturers here, or maybe our academics outside there who are interested to collaborate with UPMs, also you are most welcome to propose the course, the simple course what we are going to put in the what we call the Putra MOOCs. Okay, so it is open. The Putra MOOC, the interesting thing is open to the publics, globals. So the visibility is there. Okay, so okay, please proceed, Prof. Ismi.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wan. I just would like to revisit Dr. Wan's question just now to members. How many, maybe you have issues and challenges in terms of working beyond your department, working beyond your faculty. Any challenges, any, success stories that you managed just now? Previously mentioned about, how they work with the Pertanian people for this Technology Pintar program. But maybe other people, other colleagues would like to share your experience of working across department, across faculty, across university. What issues are being raised, what challenges you face, and maybe how you manage to address that challenges. Because we are now going for collegiality, in terms of how we view our curriculum and instruction.
Anyone want to share, Dr. Chi or Dr. Dahlia? You want to share from the SPE scholar?
Yes, SPE experience. Yes, case study.
I was trying to keep quiet, actually, to allow the other participants to participate. I guess, one thing that I am intrigued to ask Prof. Ismi actually, before I share my experience, is that we talk about in teaching and learning, and sometimes people always thought that, okay, teaching and learning, so yeah, it is compulsory, it is hakiki, but our KPI is always mostly being how to say, the weightage is actually quite a lot in the publication, and in the Jalina industry and so on. So a lot, I can see that some of my colleagues, they feel a bit of reluctant in putting too much effort in teaching. So collegiality di situ will tend to be quite minimal. I'm not saying that it is their choice, but sometimes it is, when people are overwhelmed, so they become they will choose the one that is most important, kan? But as a lecturer, this is perhaps is going to be our ongoing dilemma. Then as a lecturer, we are supposed to teach. So teaching is something that
core, bread and butter.
Core is our bread and butter. So our students will look at us as teachers. They don't see us as researchers, especially our undergraduate students. So how do we manage that balance? See, how I know that some are very passionate. So passion too can play a role. But what else can the lecturer sort of incorporate in balancing this?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Dahlia. That is a very high level question. I remember I was in this debate, when I was at the ministry last time. But I remember this one professor saying that the beauty of us being in a research university is how do we practice research informed or research driven teaching. Basically, how do we bring whatever that we have researched and publish into the class, into our teaching, and how the teaching will also provide us with some space for us to think of what is our next research project. So if you ask me, my advice is to always associate your teaching to your research and your research to your teaching. Okay, so then you can really make sure that you can have, you know, 2 in 1 ke 3 in 1 ke, you know, with that particular, for example, like you are teaching something that you are researching on, and you are teaching something that you are doing your industry and community networking, and all these industry and networking experiences you bring back to the class and share with the students. I'm sure the students you know, will be very excited, you know, because you are taking your real life experience outside, you know, with the industry and the community into your class. I'm sure most of us are doing that, you know. That's why you are so passionate. But the formula, I think, Dr. Dalla, is not to separate, you know, what you're teaching, what you're researching, and what you are doing in terms of your industry and community networking. And you know, from time to time, I have students saying that they really enjoy discussing, you know, a paper written by us in our own class. You know, not to brag, but at least they can see that their lecturers, you know, are very much into, you know, getting new ideas, debating with other scholars in the journal article or in the book, and then bring that discussion into the class, you know. So my answer to that, of course, I know we have a lot of passionate teachers, but based on my experience, try not to separate, you know, between what you are teaching, what you are researching, and what you are doing for your industry and community networking. Try to consolidate all this together. Then it is a 3-in-1 or 4-in-1 kind of thing, you know. Then you get really passionate about not only your teaching, but also your research and industry engagement activities. But I'm sure now the university has put a lot of effort in, you know, appreciating university teachers. I'm sure the office of the Deputy Vice Chancellor and CADe, you know, specifically, you know, we have been trying our very best to give more recognition, you know, to our university teachers for their, you know, their effort, you know, because I agree with Dr. Dahlia, the students remember us as the teachers, as the university teachers, more than us as researchers, because that's why they come to university in the first place. They want to be involved in constructive discussion, you know, intellectual discourse with the lecturers. So I agree, but my answer, try to always consolidate and coordinate the same thing that you are teaching, you are researching, and you are doing your engagement, industry and community. Then it will always benefit one another at all time. Thank you. Okay, Tuan Dahlia.
Thank you.
InsyaAllah.
Thank you very much. Okay, it's good. So any questions? Ada lagi?
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Novia. Silakan, silakan. Okay,
Sorry,
Dr. Novia.
yes.
Okay.
Sorry, just now I'm using my phone to
Okay.
connect to Zoom. The microphone does not work. Yeah.
Okay,
So I have
alright.
switched the laptop just now.
Okay, Alhamdulillah.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, this is also in relation to Dr. Dahlia Zawawi questions, whereby actually the idea of leaderships of collegial is very
Collegiality.
interesting. Collegiality is very interesting. And it actually promote multidisciplinary perspective in the forming our curriculums.
Yep.
But is there any way to allow the process more lean or more agile? Because it seems quite heavyweight, you know, the process itself quite heavyweight. So is there any possibility, Prof, from your experience, looking from other case study from the other university, yeah, how this can be accelerated and be achieved more quickly? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Novia. What do you mean by heavyweight, Dr. Novia? So many things to be done, is it?
True, and it always involve a lot, many stakeholders.
I
Yeah,
see.
from the experience, I think, from the experience of going through the curriculum revision is not easy as well. You know, and as now we are engaging with other stakeholders, and at the same time, yeah, they will always, you know, try to try to protect your own territory, you know, that is happening, right? So there's a lot, it's quite, I think the process is good, yeah. The intention is good, but at the same time, it's quite heavyweight as well, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nova. Dr. Novia, I think Boss Wan will be able to answer that, but I will answer from a Marhain punya perspective lah. I think.
Okay, proceed, Dr. Ismi.
I do agree that now CADe and the bahagian academic allow us, you know, to really get our industry people and community and also other faculty colleagues to work with us in terms of the way we write our curriculum. We can share, you know, we can. I always have this practice of getting the course outline from my colleagues from other faculty, you know, just basically to see how, you know, rather than we reinvent the wheel, you know, there are certain courses where you can always get the other faculty to help, you know, but at the same time, of course, you know, talking about heavyweight, how do you make sure that there's a arrangement? I remember when I was at the Deputy Dean, how do we get the course from other faculty, but we train our own lecturer, you know, to be also well versed to teach that course on behalf of the other faculty, you know, unless the other faculty are willing to basically have their lecturer teaching at your faculty. But of course, that will be quite overloaded to that particular lecturer. So the training of trainers also actually, training of lecturers also provide this collegiality opportunity, you know, because I remember Dr. Wan, we get kemahiran berfikir lecturer from the education faculty to teach lecturers from other faculties, because we believe there are certain courses where we can always macam franchise lah kan, we can franchise, we can multi-level marketing, you know, so because they know more how to contextualize at their faculties, you know, rather than you have faculty of education lecturer teaching student at veterina, you know, it is okay, but if you can have the vet lecturers also to be well versed of kemahiran berfikir, that will be, you know, make it interesting, you know, you have both the education and the vet teaching kemahiran berfikir for the same student, you know. So I think that's where collegiality can really be nurtured, but again, I think now the university is moving towards encouraging that even at the curriculum review, you know. But my humble suggestion is you can just start at your course delivery, you know, meaning to say that your arrangement as the course instructor to bring industry people, community leaders, and also your colleagues from other department and faculties to come into your class and to engage your students, you know, that can be done. And then I have some research projects that I got through an industry friend who came into the class as an invited lecturer. So because when he sees the discussion that he had with the students and all that, it brings us to a research project after that, you know. And of course, and then it also spill into industry collaboration between the department and the industry. So you see, sometimes one activity in which our intention actually is just to invite them as a lecturer can spur into other unexpected kind of arrangement. So my advice to you, Dr. Nove, maybe you can start at your course level first, but if the thing can demonstrate little success, you champion it at your department and then champion it at the faculty. And then when people see that this is a very strong formula, you know, in terms of putting in collegiality and producing a better kind of curriculum, more diverse, agile and flexible, then we can, you know, create this movement even at the university level. So I always see this collegiality should be top down and bottom up, you know. Top down, of course, the university has already seen, you know, the benefit of this working together, cross and all that. So now it's our role, you know, at the department and faculty to support and to make sure this thing can be implemented, insyaAllah. Okay, thank you, Dr. Wan. Sila sambung.
Thank you very much, Prof. Ismi. Of course, if you ask also Associate Professor Dr. Shuaib, he also have experience how we work together, and also, of course, is if you ask, we also have our programs. There is a few subject, a few course that we take from the other faculty. For example, the knowledge about the pharmacology and so on we take from the medical from the medics faculty and so on. This is how we work together, as well as Professor Ismi said, is we invite the industrial peoples. Okay, I also want to add to answer what is the e-visiting fellows from the YouTube's question also. So this is the initiative. Is like look like adjunct professors, it look like the visiting professors and so on. There is only our fellows or our lecturers or our professors from all over the world. We can invite and we can appoint them to be one of our peoples or one of our experts that can teach maybe a few courses or at least a few topics in our subjects. Okay, yes. So we can appoint them so we can have together. For example, in our subject, so we teach maybe 25 lectures. Our visiting professors can teach maybe three lectures and so on. So by doing this, we can have, or our students can have more experience from the multiple views or multiple perspectives. So this is how we try to make sure our students go more global and have a global experience, especially during these situations of the pandemic. There is no the challenge that we face. There is a new opportunity that we can do to overcome this. Okay, so I think there is a few explanation of Professor Ismi. So I think you can proceed further. So
okay, thank you, Dr. Wan. I remember that was our dream in the blueprint last time when actually the CEO at faculty program, we want, Tony Fernandez not to teach at the main hall. Tony Fernandez go into the class, talk directly to the students. We have so we can bring real industry players, real community leaders. You imagine, Lee Lam Tai going into a class, talk directly to your students, give his first-hand experience. That is the dream of what collegiality is all about. So of course, we really hope that all of you here, not only all of you here, but also you can also influence others to become collegial leaders. How we make ourselves very open in terms of getting as many as possible the right people to be in our teaching and learning ecosystem, so that our students can really have access, to these people rather than just go for, a one-off internship program or a one-off assignment, go and interview these people and then you come back and report. You have these people into your classroom, and then have direct contact and conversation with our students. I'm sure, this will make the curriculum and instruction richer, more hands-on, real life, things like that. So that's our dream, and inshallah that can be done.
Yeah, inshallah. I think it's now we are start doing now. Inshallah, we'll be participated by all the faculties later. Inshallah.
Right. Inshallah.
Okay.
Prof. Ismi?
Yes. Okay, yeah.
Can I say that based on your talk, right? In ensuring that this collegial leadership will be successful among us lah. I mean, I'm talking on behalf or in the perspective as a lecturer, kan? That every one of the lecturers has to have have to be leaders rather than managers, right?
Yes.
Because they need to be able to, they must dare to do something different.
Yes.
So
correct.
That means that we have to also improve ourselves in terms of the leadership within us, right?
Correct. Because obviously, Dr. Delia, we are our subject leaders. We have, we profess our subject, and people expect us to be the subject leader of our subject. So this is what we hope. By being collegial, you also bring your subject, to the next level, making it richer, diverse, and so on.
Thank you, Prof. You have injected some good ideas that I can bring to my...
Alhamdulillah, insyaAllah, Dr. Novia, insyaAllah.
Right.
So, okay, others?
Any more questions?
So,
Dr. Wan,
yes.
can I interject a little bit?
Yes, sure.
Okay, I just want to share, Prof. Ismi and Dr. Dalia, probably, for the past 30 over years in UPM, I would say that this collegial leadership, I think, is very much close with UPM. If you look into our success story until now, look into the leadership of UPM for the past 30 over years. I've been working, basically, we are all working under several VCs. I think until now I have gone through 8 VCs already, right? So we can see that it's happening in UPM. In terms of leadership. That's why we are here now.
Yep.
Of course, along the way there are many drawback and so on. But I think we have been here because of partly because due to collegial leadership in UPM. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Suhaib. And that's why we hope we can have everyone, to be collegial leaders at your respective level, department, faculty, or university, or whichever PTJ you have, so that we can really create this collegial movement, to be stronger, where we don't see our external faculty member as a threat, but actually as a partner who can really enrich our own curriculum, our own teaching and learning. So hopefully we can nurture more collegial leaders, across the university, and we can bring others from outside the university as well to enrich our teaching and learning ecosystem in UPM, specifically.
Okay, maybe our young academicians want to share some things here. We have here Dr. Ahmad Aizuddin, we have Dr. Kumardia, and many of us here.
InsyaAllah, any suggestion? We want to learn from all of you. You belong to the generation of collegial, where you really work across, try to run away from the one size fits all kind of arrangement.
Maybe Dr. Habibah, Associate Professor Dr. Habibah, you want to share some things?
Oh, Dr. Bib ada. Okay.
Ada, yes, that's right. Ada.
Anything?
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Yes, I just wanted to share from the perspective of young academician.
Okay, Dr. Harini.
I think because when I came back, I actually do a bit of multidisciplinary research already.
Alhamdulillah.
So my background is in science, which is veterinary medicine. Tapi bila balik, I have to do more of social science work, like economics of diseases, things like that. So it started off with doing research.
Yes.
So you graduated with something else, which is in maybe dairy cattle, but then you came back, you got grants in another things, which is in aquaculture. So, but
you learn fast. Then you learn fast.
Then you learn fast, and then not many people is actually doing multidisciplinary work.
Yeah.
So people usually look for you.
Yep.
And then I started off by knowing more industry people, because I have to do surveys, kan? So we understand what are the issues and the problems. So it started off really with research.
Right.
And then afterwards, you started to know, okay, your students need to learn about this and that.
Right.
And then when I do start to teach, then I have to have industrial people, but not only inviting them to do talk. We now know that, okay, some of the industry people, they actually quite interested to actually engage with the students. Tapi dia kena industry people yang memang betul-betul successful lah.
Yes. Yes.
Then you can have a very good orang panggil communication between the students.
Input in the teaching and learning activities.
Because the students, when they I do one example project like a business model canvas for a vet students. But then we invite people who actually have background in menternak lah.
Yes.
And then talking to the students. Tapi kita buat juga activity to students actually telling them back what is actually happening. And then the industry tell them back, okay, it could be this or that. So that was really interesting. So that was the first part yang I did lah.
Yes.
And then suddenly as time goes by, I did aquaculture research, and then I get to know, okay, we can do service learning. So that's how service learning started.
Right.
But then in order for you to really have a successful, because you have to make sure that the industry, the ministry, dia nak benda tu. You have to make sure also the industry pun nak benda tu, and you have to make sure benda tu pun students benefit from that. So it's actually quite difficult tau nak. First you have to get those things together.
Yep.
So I think for a young academician, you have to have macam one language.
Yeah.
Yang you have to tell your colleague who are very much a doctor lah, yang tak faham pasal industri.
Yeah.
And the industry people, they are business people.
Yes.
So you macam orang tengah lah.
Yeah, to be on the same page, right?
To be on the same page.
Yeah.
And then I think you kena faham the issues and the problems. I think most of them have the same. Dia nampak benda sama, tapi the language is different.
Yes. Because you have different wants and needs, but you become the connector, the connector.
The connector, and then you have to be really good in making the paperwork.
Yes.
Sebab you also have to make sure ministry pun suka with that activity.
Correct.
So I think as you kena have a good communication skill, I think.
Right.
In understanding, not really too deep, tapi enough for you to understand, okay, these are the issues lah. So that was how.
And try to cater to the needs of all the parties, right?
Yes. So bila you cater to all the parties, then memang benda tu boleh jadi. And you have to tell the people yang nak buat activity tu, these are the things that you have to do, these are the things that I want, these are the things you kena communicate with different stakeholders tu. Ni benda saya nak, ni benda saya nak, ni benda saya nak. Kementerian akan tanya saya, kenapa you nak buat lab work? Ini mahal ni. I kata tak boleh lah, kita kena buat. So I have to have the knowledge of the lab work. Tapi farmer dia tak pandai nak bagi tahu benda tu pada kementerian. So kita orang tengah lah in terms of, so that makes that collegial work.
Yeah.
For
That's make you a collegial leader. So alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah lah. So after some time but it takes some time to learn lah from really small projects.
Right.
And then buat benda lebih lah.
Yes.
So but then multidisciplinary work is rewarding lah for me.
Yes.
You learn to meet people, you learn
Correct.
about different things. For
Correct.
me, and the students bila dia dengar from industry and they do a lot of things, dia pun okay, this is how the things being done in the industry, so they get more things lah. But it's a lot of work lah. It's a lot of work.
But insyaAllah, as you go along, you manage to have that, already in your repertoire, kan? So I think this is what Sulam is all about, trying to, to get every one of us to be collegial leaders, and then we also nurture that in our students,
Yes.
They can be great. They can be great collegial leaders and connectors, to various stakeholders.
Yes. So that's
congratulations.
So that's from the young academicians lah. But it's true, like you said, that whatever that you did in your research, you can actually
connect to your teaching.
Connect back to your teaching. Yes, so I agree with that. So that's from me lah.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Norhani. I agree with you. That's when you connect all the activities together, addressing the Dahlia's concern just now, and you don't see as overloaded, because basically you're doing the same thing but just in a different activities, and you optimize all this and benefit you and also your learners and students and your colleagues. Okay, thank you, Dr. Reni. Okay, Dr. Wan.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Reni. It's good. It's a good sharing. Okay. Anything else? Okay, or any things here that our academicians want to share here? Ada lagi? Okay, so if not, we proceed to Professor Ismi. Maybe you want to recap. We have around 20 minutes more.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Wan. Thank you very much, Dr. Dahlia. I think we have started with why do we need collegiality, in teaching and learning. We have been doing this all this while, but of course, some, for some reasons, like what Dr. Dahlia mentioned just now, maybe because of the changes, doing research and whatnot, then we sort of like low key in terms of bringing in collegiality in terms of our teaching and learning. But of course, at the ministry level, at the university level, with this Sulam initiative, with this flexible curriculum, I see a better future in terms of how we can really demonstrate our collegiality in our teaching and learning and develop ourselves as collegial leaders. So basically, just now, we have sort of like share in terms of why collegiality is very important in our teaching and learning ecosystem, why it is very important for us to become collegial leaders. At the end of the day, we want our students and ourselves also, to benefit from the expertise, the experiences, knowledge of our colleagues, not only within our department, but beyond department, beyond faculty, beyond university, beyond sectors. You talk about quadruple helix, our partners in the ministry, in the community, and industry. So that at the end of the day, we are connected in this big community of practice, in which we can really learn from one another, and we can become more holistic individuals. Of course, that is the motherhood statement lah kan, that the big idea. But again, it goes back to ourselves as collegial leaders. How collegial are we? Or are we still having this little Napoleon traits in us? If we have tried to reduce it, of course, we still have to have maybe a small component of protecting our subject area, but don't let it be too territorial up to the extent that we are not open to collaborate and work with others. Because I always believe that there is always unity in diversity, there is always diversity in unity. We benefit more by working together. And just now we have gone through, what are the characteristics, what are the benefits, what are the activities that you can do, to nurture and champion this collegiality, in teaching and learning, and also collegiality in our life as an academics. So I'm sure I can see that we have been somewhat good in terms of collegiality in our research and our supervision, and our industry and community networking. But let's bring that also into our teaching and learning, because I believe that will not only benefit us as the educators, but it will also benefit our students and learners. So again, thank you very much to Dr. Wan. Thank you very much to Dr. Dahlia for inviting me. Thank you very much to everyone, for very good questions, very good sharing. Of course, I have provided you with these 5 questions just for you to revise and then to reflect on yourself, how to better yourself. I wish you all the very best, and I hope we can always improve ourselves as collegial leaders. Being collegial, we can travel far, insyaAllah. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum. Thank you very much. Dr. Wan, over to you, Dr. Dahlia.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, thank you very much. Professor Dr. Ismi Arif Ismail, okay, for the interesting sharing with us today. Okay, so we have discussed a lot of things. There is a few tips that can be how we can be a great academicians, great academic collegial leaders, and so on. So we hope we can practice in our real situation, in our real life. Okay, so once again, Alhamdulillah, we already accomplished our online CPD training program for today. So I'm also take this opportunity to thank, of course, is our beloved Vice Chancellors, Professor Dr. Muhammad Roslan bin Sulaiman, our beloved Deputy Vice Chancellors, Academic and Internationals, Professor T.S. Dr. M. Iqbal Saripan for continuous support, as well as our dedicated, my dedicated Deputy Directors of CADe, Associate Professor Dr. Dahlia, for the arrangement for this good webinar today. Okay, and as well as all of our CADe teams for your courage and commitments. Okay, so last but not least, thanks again Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Ismi Arif Ismail, the Director of IPSAS UPM, for interesting session today entitled Collegial Leadership for Teaching and Learning. And CADe also want to thank everyone for joining us for our webinar series today. So thank you very much. Okay, hope to see all of you for the next session. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Terima kasih, Prof. Syed.
Terima kasih, Prof. Wan.
Okay, Prof. Rosli, terima kasih banyak for joining us for
Terima kasih
the
Terima
feedback.
kasih, Dr. Dahlia.
Terima kasih Dr. Dahlia, Prof.
Wah,
Terima kasih semua.
Terima kasih. Okay, Dr. Azhar baru nak je ni. Next time kena bagi contribution juga.
Okay. Support daripada luar, daripada jauh dari Seremban. Okay, terima kasih, Prof.
InsyaAllah.
Terima kasih, Dr. Wan. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay, insyaAllah. Okay, Dr. Wan. Dr. Dahlia, terima kasih.
Semua.
Terima kasih, Dr. Rasmi.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Bye.
Assalamualaikum. Okay, Dr.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay.